one side was a side representing what a stereotypical woman would look like in the times where she grew up in the 40s and 50s. So as you can see, she mentioned that she was expected to clean, cook, be a stay-at-home mom, not have that much of an exciting life. But then we have a doorway, which signals the divorce in her life, which really gave her a gateway to be really more independent and take her own path in life. And then you can see on the other side, you can see all the adventure, and that could be labeled with anything that she got out of the second half of her life post-divorce. And she really made it clear that the divorce was a turning point in her life, and without that, she wouldn't have had the experiences she had. This is the 3D model for that.
So this is our next idea, which is a piano. So she played piano when she was young, right up until college actually, and so it was like really significant to her because it kind of represented the box that she was put in, because she was forced to play piano and she didn't really like it and no one really wanted to listen to it, so she stopped. And half of the piano is like normal, and then the other half is broken, that represents like her kind of going her own way. And then we have like an even more idea, like to when you open it up to see like little things like chickens that we made that represent things in her life.
So these are our sensory highlights. So we ended up with the idea that sparked the most interest, and after feedback from Miss Ray and the coaches, we went through an idea of the gas mask, which represents that idea sparked from the staircase because it was showing two sides of something in a really abstract way. But Miss Ray thought we could get more creative, so we really thought, well, what was something that stood out to us, and it was the gas mask. So during the Gulf War, she had to wear a gas mask to protect her breathing from the air. Most people would see this as a tragedy in her life, being in a war zone and a traumatic moment. But she saw it as a very positive moment where she saw the world through a different lens, and really looking back at it, she didn't regret the moment at all, and she really found out that it was a huge part of her life. And it's the gas mask itself that shows her independence, in my opinion, because what woman who was born in the 40s, with all these stereotypes, is in Israel wearing a gas mask, kind of feeding for herself throughout the streets of Israel during a war. So that part really stood out to me. And so this is we're going to talk a little about sketch.
Yeah, so like Ethan said, in addition to it representing her, the gas mask also represents what the war looked like from the outside if you're not her. So you see it and you're like, well, that's scary, that's like definitely war, it's kind of ugly. And then when you put it on, so on the inside where like you see out of, we have like a kaleidoscope or like a color kind of collage that represents like the beauty and like shining that she sees in the war. So when she puts that on and she's looking out at like Israel, which would be, but it's just the colors, she sees like the beauty of the war. And then we were going to use headphones to put in like an ocean sound, because she told a story about how her favorite part of being in Israel was driving down this highway. I was like on the road next to the ocean, and so we could have like ocean sounds in there to kind of take you from one world and really like push you into another.
So this is our first prototype of the gas mask. It's as you can see, it's not that appealing to the eye. It's kind of ugly looking at it. It's it's not that attractive. But then this is really just like a prototype. When you look through the eyes, you see bright colors and stuff that represents a positive out of a negative. So that's basically the goal we're trying to accomplish. You see this gas mask, you kind of want to stay away from it. Then when you put it on, you're seeing a whole different view in a world that's like almost art. So another view. Then this is one of our precedents, because I don't know if you guys have seen these, but on the outside it just looks like a regular rock. But then when you open it up, it's like beautiful crystals and really cool colors. So that was like that's a precedent that kind of came to mind to me first, kind of not judging a book by its cover like it said on the title page. That's what you can see on the inside.
Yeah. So on the inside, it's like a kaleidoscope if you ever looked at one of those things. Or like diamonds, yeah. So that's what we put on the inside, so you see that and you get like a really fun and like beautiful kind of vibe from it. Alright. Yeah. So the next steps that we take is we have to create a more virtual and appealing visual effect. So we need to like make kind of the thing that you see on the inside look a lot nicer and a lot more inviting. And then on Rhino, we have to create a gas mask, which we're actually in the process of doing right now. Just making it look like as much like a gas mask as possible, so that to give the effect. And then think of other experimental effects that we can incorporate to the gas mask, like the sounds that we talked about, and maybe like I don't know, it'd be hard to do smell, but like anything else, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's basically it. Thank you.
All right, maybe Ms. Osborne, maybe we'll start with you. Not to put you on the spot, but I saw that you were smiling, so I think that's a good sign. Yeah, I'm gonna get these guys to get a pencil and paper.
Miss Osborne. She's just like Skype.
Can you guys hear me okay? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of relay what you're saying so that the others can hear, because your audio is pretty low in here, but hopefully your audio is good enough and you were able to hear.
Yep.
Yeah, the audio was great on my side. You were really well done on the presentation.
Thank you.
Even in Amir, I think all of the questions that came up for me at the beginning, you answered by the end of the presentation, so it was actually really wonderful. And this idea that you have of the dichotomy of what can be really sort of like scary or negative about the gas mask and contrasting that with being inside, the experience of being inside the mask and creating a feeling of independence and positivity and freedom, I think is really, really fantastic. It's a great idea.
Thank you.
And I know you talked a little bit about incorporating sounds, but I think there's a very obvious opportunity here for you to incorporate smell. So I almost wonder, I know you're looking at these sort of kaleidoscopic visual images, but I think one of the things that you said that stood out to me was talking about ocean sounds, and so I almost wonder if there is this sort of like beachy freedom feeling that you're creating inside the mask. So it smells like salt water and sand, and you're seeing sort of colors that evoke waves moving or something like that, and that when anyone puts that mask on, it helps them sort of like brings them into that moment in like a really crisp, clear way. I think it's a really fantastic idea, and I'm really excited to see how you guys develop it further.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina.